This video is intended to describe a lightblade wand named Abundance, which is the 19th rendition in short succession since beginning of January of 2025. Joining me today will be my whimsical stick figure chakra map, which I'll be utilizing to be a visual cue reference guide to every component seen here before us, as well as the leather that will be installed, as well as the badging. Once this is all fully notarized, the green leather will be installed on the handle right here, as well as the white leather over the main heart engine capacitor section, with the Tree of Life with rose quartz to be a lovely pink-gray heart activation complementary antithesis installed like so, which will of course come more in time. Okay, so discussing the Abundance blade band ratio seen right here. First of things first, I'll be discussing the entirety of the blade band scaffolding as a preface that works to, of course, recirculate the energy of this entire construct in what vaguely resembles a figure 8. So I'll get into it right now. Starting off with the transmutation ratio, this is what I consider the handband sequence of the construct, which will have the green leather installed on top of it. Starting off with hematite and smoky quartz, inundation sequence seen like so, circling this lateral band as well as this handband and this lateral band to be the transmutation ratio. Hematite is a fantastic grounder of all energy through the root chakra into the earth stars, into the earth meridian matrix free processing, in tandem with smoky quartz, facilitating the same energetic pathway guidance to take all excess energy and firmly ground it through the root into the earth stars, into the earth meridian matrix free processing. So the two together, what I consider the transmutation ratio, is quintessential in actually bringing the tangibility of the entire energy range into the earth plane to make the magic real, quite simply. As well as being a lovely purification transmutation agent to always take all excess energy and firmly ground it into Mother Earth when engaged, to ground out all the excess energy, which could take all stray radial energies that are not of the highest idyllic light spectrum for the auric field, and ground it into the earth. So the transmutation ratio runs laterally like so on this handband of silver for the intake reception of this particular clearing sequence, then on brass for the output, so it's kind of a yin and yang of the same exact polarity of intake and output simultaneously. With the main engine band around where the heart of the construct is, being of the transmutation ratio to be a strong grounding influence for the tangibility's sake. Once again, I digress. And going straight into the Abundance blade band ratio. Starting off right here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clear quartz beads to start off the ignition sequence. Going into emerald. Emerald, the quintessential green ray heart chakra stimulant mineral kingdom of great notoriety and precious utilization for quintessential royal heart chakra activation abundance. Going into rutilated quartz to work as a massive acceleration of the energy of this primary blade band. Into peridot. Peridot is a fantastic third and fourth chakra stimulant, that of growth, or basically crystalline equivalent to chlorophyll, the aspect of how all this indeed grows, which makes for a very fantastic abundant frequency. Going into clear quartz to be a neutral acceleration of the energy, into emerald once again, then into golden healer quartz. Golden healer quartz is an amazing gold white light Christ frequency source central sun alignment frequency that works fantastic as a subcapacitation agent for the ignition sequence to have the source energy in alignment with the physical heart stimulation. Then clear quartz, then so on, into the clear quartz right here, regrounding into the transmutation blade band ratio. So that would be the basic figure 8 scaffolding described right there, with the lateral band seen like so. And then down here, by the main heart of the construct, is a lateral band of onyx and clear quartz. Onyx is the quintessential focuser of energy in the mineral kingdom, which is a great aspect of focusing energy and producing discipline of current. So the aspect of onyx being a great stimulation of the root chakra and the earth stars makes a great focus of the energy, which of course can ensure the direction of current into the tangibility range of Mother Earth's resonance. And a great aspect of display and focus with this frequency right here, of course, to take this exotic platform and give it focus is purpose. So that would be the basic figure 8 blade banding scaffolding discussed of just, once again, I'll say it again, the transmutation ratio going like so into the abundance ratio, generating perpetual figure 8 momentum, as well as any other frequency mentioned thus far and future references will of course be running through this perpetual figure 8 for vibrational closed-loop reactive circuit. Then I'll go ahead and hop straight into the engine banding right here. I'll flip that over for this side. So right here is a lovely Lemurian clear quartz as the main absolute heart of the construct, as well as Lemurian quartz as the focalizers, which eventually of course I will get to down here when I reach it. But this is of course the main programmable resonant heart of the abundance construct seen right here, which also makes for a very powerful resonant impulse frequency for the conscious self wielder to put the energy or prayers into the construct. Then right here at the very tip is a very special stone called star argonite, which is a master healer of the mineral kingdom I employ quite often. Star argonite is a calcium-based full light body stone from top to bottom that rapidly but gently works to clear any blockages from the fully healthy functional light body energy field from literally top to bottom. Everything in between gets rapidly cleared to a higher resonance. A very amazing full light body stone, master healer. Then right here, at the very apex, is lovely Larimar. Larimar is a great 5th and 6th chakra stimulant, and very much a lovely stone that's quite in vogue these days due to its notoriety of looking kind of like a beautiful turquoise, but also brings an extreme soothing frequency to the 5th chakra, which is of one's highest truth. Then right here is a lovely golden healer quartz shaped like an angel. Golden healer quartz, like mentioned right here, is an incredible gold-white light source energy alignment. So even a heavier dose of that goes a very long way with the obvious endeavors of spirit tools to be spirit tools, quite simply. So having that source energy alignment right there goes a very long way, of course, in heavier dose to keep one's field in alignment with the great central sun of creation, which puts the source in sorcery, basically. Okay. This next section I'll discuss in one shot due to their effective connection to the operational system, starting off with red jasper. Red jasper stabilizes the root chakra in the mineral kingdom of Earth elemental spectrum. So before I continue further, jasper and agates are the most stable vibrations of the mineral kingdom, hence their placement in the ignition sequence stabilize the elemental spectrums, just to bring stability and equilibrium to the auric field for that purpose. Then going into fire agate, a fire elemental stabilizer of the root, sacrum, and solar plexus. Then into moss green agate to stabilize the heart chakra, as well as the entire system, based on, of course, the stabilized heart is the governance of the entire energy flow, that kind of thing. And for the abundance spectrum, so I need my paperweight to behave, so I can actually use my whimsical chakra map. Moss green agate found up here will be discussed in greater notoriety once I get to the purpose of that, but there's good reason why moss green agate is in heavy dose in this construct for abundance. Then, going into blue lace agate to stabilize the 5th chakra in the water elemental spectrum. So the stability right there brings a nice stabilized pitch to the entire frequency output. Then right here is black obsidian from Mount Shasta, a lovely, just like smoky quartz, purifier of negativity by grounding all excess energy to Mother Earth for two-way reprocessing. Then right here behind the main heart of the construct is a bolt of fulgurite. Fulgurite is actually petrified lightning, literally the energy of lightning striking sand contained in a crystalline vibratory output, which is a very dramatic lightning-powered full light bison from top to bottom as well, and is utilized by First Nation shamans to intensify their prayers back to spirit, back to creator, for their service to the people, involving their medicine or magic they would perform for the tribes. So this was a very amazing, powerful, classic spirit tool of its time to intensify one's prayers, and of course, wire wrapped to a circuit, like everything else, generates vibrational compound interest through the closed-loop reactive circuit, which goes with every single component I notarized right now, of course, are wire wrapped to a single primary wire, which is the main vein of the construct, to generate a current. Then over here is a lovely piece of white calcite that makes for a lovely white ray, full, clear of sting energy from top to bottom. But what makes it truly special here is this is oceanic calcite I harvested myself, which also means that this white calcite was literally tumbled by the ocean for God knows how long. So the oceanic clearing imprintation and already a clearing construct right there, a clearing energy, has intrinsically the indelible mark of the ocean's energetic clearing capacity, which is very nice in a, like I said, closed-loop reactive circuit with many components generating a singleized current. So that'd be a clearing of the ocean. Then right here is Tibetan black quartz. Tibetan black quartz is an amazing master healer, a full light body stimulant as well from Tibet. That makes a full stimulation from the top and bottom very powerfully, and also works just like this guy to clear any outmodeled patterns that be impeding a natural healthy light body functional flow. So there's many of these different stones in this construct, crystals I should say, that will have full light body stimulations that will be considered master healers in tandem that make for a truly effective combination for a authentic healing device, vibratory device. And that's another one right there. Then down here is black tektite. Black tektite is a product of meteorite impacting sand, carrying that cosmic jolt. But since it's a black ray stone, it makes it for a very fantastic full light body stimulation from God, thank God, the ground up to actually bring a higher vibration threshold from the ground up through the entire system, which is a nice vibrational boost for foundation for the raising vibration from the ground up. Like I say thrice more times because that's a very important aspect. And a general vibrational increasement as well as a Kundalini activator. Speaking of Kundalini activators, we have serpentine, quite literally from my riverbed right there in my backyard here in Mount Shasta. That makes for a fantastic full Kundalini serpentine light body activation by itself. Then next to that is a rather exotic variety called infinitite of serpentine's cousin, infinitite, right here, which also, just like serpentine, makes for a very powerful full light body Kundalini stimulation. Yet infinitite has a special aspect of decrystallizing patterns that be habitually invoking or playing out that would impede the light body's full health function as well. Many of these frequencies do the same thing for vibrational compound interest. It's just another nice dose of it. Then right here is the lovely rose quartz. Rose quartz, a quintessential pink ray love chakra, love frequency stimulant in the mineral kingdom, that is very powerful for bringing divine love into the field. And thank goodness a very common element, which naturally, with such a heart-centered terrestrial green ray invocation, is a very nice complementary pink ray high love stimulant. Then right here is the lovely chrysoprase. Chrysoprase is an incredible water elemental 3rd and 4th chakra stimulant that is very healing to the deep heart and any kind of habitual wounds. Much like these guys, of course, but there's a certain particular pitch of chrysoprase being a certain frequency pitch that really dismantles any aspects of old wounds from childhood, for things of that nature, that is very amazing for application. So that's chrysoprase. And I believe, surprisingly, oh, that definitely is not the full engine section yet. I almost forgot to mention a very critical component. This right here is smoky celestial quartz. Just like smoky quartz mentioned in the transmutation blade banding, has a strong grounding element to purify negativity into positivity. Yet, the structure of how the quartz grows as an celestial has a very special resonance with the light body conscious self field. Celestial smoky quartz works as an auto-regulator to ensure the frequency pitch of the wielder is in the highest optimum at all times. It gets very, meta to discuss this in a rational linear format because of its complexive nature, what it actually, of course, means in practicality. And what that means is that, quite simply, it works as a perfect dimmer switch to keep the premium vibration of this entire construct in an optimal range for the conscious self, actually what they need for any given situation, which applies to their life, as well as if they're obviously serving people in their jurisdiction, being a light worker, if you would, they will also basically bring the pitch of the frequency to an optimum as well. It gets very complex, but a very long story short, it also works as an auto-regular surge protector to ensure the frequency is always aligned to the ideal configuration. Quite simply, and I digress. So that would be the entirety of the engine section, and once this is fully notarized, this white leather will be installed like so, with this lovely tree of life, Yggdrasil, installed like so with the rose quartz, once again a pink ray love activation frequency. And this is more than just aesthetics. It actually has a purpose of taking the emanation of the white ray, the full spectrum of light, and color therapy wise, run that resonance, also insulate the excess energy that's running through here so it's focused and condensed. Then, of course, to protect all these subtle stones stacked in termination so that, of course, they're protected while it's living happily after with its wielder as she's out there giving them all heaven. And D, it also is, last but not least, an aesthetic completion to the construct to make it look like a more comprehensive, complete construct, I guess. But it definitely is indeed functional more than aesthetic. But it is nice though. And the wood core right here, before I move further on to the business end of the construct, is oak, seen right here. These are actually two different cores screwed together, both from this lovely oak tree right here, the tip of my pen, seen over here. That, of course, wind flows through here, blows branches down the forest floor. I thank that guy very nicely for this opportunity to utilize such fantastic wood, and it's from that guy right there. And so, basically, oak is a very legendary wood of kings, heroes, gods, you name it. Its mythology is quite steeped in the human morphic field of belief and reverence. But the aspect also of oak being a very dense, thick wood means it has a dense atomical structure, which is very strengthening in alignment with our carbon-based physical avatars for now, aligning with the carbon-based resonance, a wood band of oak. So, there we have it. That's also, of course, oak being a very strengthening frequency for this abundance is very advantageous for platform, etc., etc., etc. Okay, moving on. So next I'll be discussing the primary thumb engagement seen right here, which is designed, of course, to when wielded to actually engage the thumb like so, to complete the circuit right here like that. Okay, I have to find a way to stand it up so I can describe it as linear as possible. Okay, so right here, this primary thumb engagement is quite exotic in nature. Starting off with the main core of this thumb engagement would be Libyan gold tektite. Libyan gold tektite, or Libyan gold desert sandglass, was a golden ray stone utilized by the pharaohs of old for their finery breastplates. Libyan gold tektite is a very amazing fire energy, sacrum, and solar plexus stimulant, yet it has a full storm overtone, which means the golden ray of illumination can stimulate the entire light body as a whole in very powerful ways. And there's a good reason why the pharaohs would actually get this and actually have it made into their finery, carved into a scarab beetle to wield it as part of their Magi God King breastplates. And so, that right there also makes for a very powerful manifestation agent through the solar plexus of divine will, as well as what I consider to be a dharmic accelerant to put ones in touch with their true divine nature very quickly. Speaking of that, right here is Moldavite. Moldavite is the quintessential dharmic accelerant, or super intensive spiritual activator, I would say, of green ray notoriety, and quite famous these days because it's become quite legendary as a metaphysical stone of vibratory power. So Moldavite, being a storm elemental green ray heart chakra stimulant, puts one in connection to their spiritual connection so quickly that it can be considered almost violent. This stone by itself does not play games. It is not gentle. It is hurricane force dharmic alignment, or one's connection to creation, which aggressively dismantles all of the false self patterns that impede one's connection to their spiritual nature in real time, which is why it's quite famous for ruining people's lives, changing people's lives very dramatically, all that stuff. But as a contingency, having that frequency in a small dose with the transmutation ratio to ground out all the energy, as well as the agates to stabilize the energy, for example, that is working to mitigate the massive timeline whiplash as much as possible in a reactive circuit. So you get a dose of that massive cosmic alignment While God willing, it works to, of course, mitigate all like the extreme shifts that happen from massive timeline junctions. Anyhow, and around this entire power pack, that's the thumb engagement, will be a rather opulent structure of clear quartz to be a neutral acceleration into ruby. Ruby is the quintessential royal red ray root chakra stimulant of Mineral Kingdom of unsurpassed legendary notoriety, and is a very, very powerful root chakra stimulant. Then going into clear quartz into blue sapphire. Blue sapphire, the perfect antithesis to ruby, being the wind elemental 5th and 6th chakra stimulants right here, which, of course, these stones are quite opulent and also true precious royal stones. So it has very much an abundant implication by having that frequency with the abundance platform to carry that old frequency of abundance that's very well believed through the history of modern recorded history and humanity. Literally everybody and their dog, or just about, know about emerald, ruby, and sapphire for this purpose of being very famous precious stones. So by utilizing that in a circuit, in theory, would dramatically intensify that opulent spectrum of abundance being realized in a broadcasting format. As well as ruby and sapphire being the perfect strengthened, very strong red ray, strong blue ray, make for a perpetual regeneration frequency through the aspect of hydrogen stimulation through ruby, then the oxygen of blue, being sapphire, for the intake output perfected. Okay, I'll just stop myself and stop speaking Christianese on the subject. I think the idea is made. I think the point has been taken. So that, of course, makes for a very opulent, lovely, royal spectrum to engage the construct like so. You get the focus correct? Okay. Now, next I'll be discussing the components of the blade face that play a rather critical role in the entire intended construct. So right here, mentioned just like these other master healers back here, is seraphinite. Seraphinite is obviously a green ray stone named after the seraphim archangels as an incredible, obviously green ray heart chakra stimulant, yet it has a full light body stimulation that works very quickly with seraphic force to dismantle patterns of dis-ease from top to bottom, which is a very effective, incredible master healer of the Mineral Kingdom that I've been utilizing for many years now and would consider to be one of my top 5 favorite crystals, which is a pretty ambitious thing to say for someone who's obviously obsessed with crystalline vibratory outputs. But its versatility and its practical utilization in day-to-day life of having that seraphic healing modality is, I find, irreplaceable. And so that's why this is here with great prominence, is to have that full light body stimulation of seraphic healing force that works the entire chakra column to the ideal configuration and once again dismantles from top to bottom any patterns of dis-ease impeding a natural healthy light body flow. That's quite a mouthful. That's why I'm having a 5th chakra attack, obviously, because it's quite a bit to describe. So in tandem with the seraphinite, the Tibetan black quartz, as well as the star argonite, this trio is quite the essential full light body stimulation from top to bottom to dismantle any impediments to the light body in fully healthy flow in connection to one source creation, which is the big idea of those 3 together as master healers. Okay, so this right here is rather important as well to be moss green agate in bigger doses, obviously seen in both sides is symmetrical as possible. Moss green agate works amazingly, of course, to stabilize the heart chakra, unparalleled Mineral Kingdom. And why that's important in this abundance construct is that with this super exaggeration focus of the ideal aligned heart chakra stimulation of extreme receptivity, this is also a contingency to stabilize that wavelength. So it's one thing to have a massive exaggeration of that frequency in broadcast sequence. Then to stabilize the receptivity of this broadcast is actually how the stability makes it real. So that the receptive wavelength isn't distorted as much as possible upon reception of manifestation, for example, of abundance. So that plays a very important role to stabilize the heart's extreme activation seen right here. I hope that made enough sense. And then moving on, right here would be sunstone. Sunstone is a quintessential feldspar-based solar energy that stimulates the sacrum and the solar plexus, and that also has been highly utilized in all the abundance platforms of this rendition, this being 19th once again, for exactly this reason. So the aspect of the sunstone works like a yang projective output, almost masculine in tone, to the receptive yin of the abundance frequency seen right here. So it works as a balance of to basically, of course, feel very abundant, feel blessed, feel great, while the reception is in a highlight as well. So these two together have been utilized in all of the abundance constructs without exception for this purpose. So that the positive, sunny, fun energy, so you actually, one, feels abundant and good, is also, of course, how you vibrate and feel, and also how your attention determines reality, is answered by this feeling good right here, feeling enthused, feeling empowered, with the aspect of sun, fun, good light vibes, quite simply. So that's just to kind of like really simplify what I was trying to say there. My paperweight's misbehaving. Okay. Stay, be good. So that right there will be the sunstone. Of course, like I mentioned, both as identical as possible for continuity of symmetrical output. Then, at the very tip right here is a lovely piece of smoky quartz. Smoky quartz, like mentioned a few times already in this dissertation, works as a great purification by grounding energy into the earth for reprocessing. So at the very tip right here, having the focus of the energy actually ground this energy also encourages the tangibility of making it real, and the transmutation of any patterns impeding this natural flow to be dispersed out of the system, so just keep playing out. That's the big idea why that heavier dose of smoky quartz is seen right here. Then right here would be the focalizers right here. So the big aspect of taking the figure 8 like so for perpetual recirculated contained energy, and also installing the focalizers for particularly a lightblade wand, for example, is also to work as a directional focus of the energy. So for example, my tree buddy right there, the focus of the energy of these quartz points can be directed and the current can be broadcasted for grounding the yield of the vibratory output. That's exactly why they're there, to take, of course, this entire energy focus and give it a broadcast focus. Okay. So starting off back here would be titanium aura quartz. Titanium aura quartz was technically a man-made modern alchemical mineral that was created sometime in the 80s. But it is taking a clear quartz point and then pressure coating with titanium is why it's so powerful. Titanium on quartz makes for a very powerful full rainbow light bright stimulation from top to bottom, and also works to very powerfully insulate the field from weaker frequencies that would harm the subtle energies of the ideal auric field. As well as it brings a very powerful strengthening of energy, which makes for a great strengthening of the focus into the Lemurian clear quartz seen right here. So just like mentioned down here by the main heart of the construct, the clear quartz of particularly lovely, beautiful Lemurian variety makes for a neutral energy amplification, which makes it the ideal way to, of course, take this entire energy broadcast and focus it into form, kind of like so. And that would be the focalizers. Okay, so this next section I saved for last intentionally to be a capstone to the entire dissertation. This right here is white selenite, hewn exactly to the oak core as much as possible. Selenite by itself is an incredible stone of divine ascension, in my opinion. 1 second, I gotta make sure this guy behaves again. Come on. So white selenite is a very fantastic 6th, 7th, 8th, all the non-physical chakras back to the Godhead stimulant, which is basically a two-way connection to the higher self-consciousness, which by itself is pretty fantastic, obviously, for spiritual endeavors. But then the aspect of selenite makes for a divine purification that basically burns off all stagnant energies from the top of the field all the way through the auric field, which could be considered another master healer by itself to purify negativity by burning off densities that are not of aligned higher frequencies. But where they always really shine any given spirit tool is to take all these frequencies mentioned in this half hour so far. It will take all these frequencies in a circuit, it will purify all these frequencies. It will take all these frequencies, it will harmonize all these frequencies. Then it'll take all these frequencies of the circuit and amplify, or intensify. So when you have the trifecta of purification for this entire construct, amplification, and then harmonization, that makes for a truly triumphant trifecta that is basically a great foundation for any given vibrational tool that is considered to be a spirit tool for that exact purpose. Then right here are the kyanites utilized of black, orange, green, and blue kyanite. So kyanites are the most rapid transfers of energy in the mineral kingdom, hence their utilization here is actually of the essence to actually make the transferences of this broadcast real and tangible in real time. So black kyanite, seen right here, is the quintessential black ray grounding point, which is found in virtually all light tech for this exact reason, no matter what variety, to have a constant grounding of the energy into the earth very quickly, which also could serve much like a surge protector to take the excess yield of this frequency and ensure the grounding contact patch is always being met. Orange kyanite is a fantastic sacrum stimulant of very powerful calibration to one's highest self. Then going into the green kyanite, being a very rapid transferability of the heart chakra to the ideal configuration. Then going into blue kyanite to be a fantastic third eye stimulant that also works as a fantastic way to bridge the psychic powers or siddhis into tangible scope with the conscious self. So that aspect right there makes for a very powerful dynamic four-spectrum transferability of the full ideal dharmic configuration in real time, grounded in all aspects, as well as kyanites being so reactive. They can think of it as also being another layer of etheric Teflon to ensure the frequency pitch is always in optimal configuration, rapidly bridging and transmuting as needed by the higher self's idyllic platform. It gets very complicated when I describe that, so I must end my digression. But in summary, that takes the entire focus and makes the transferability of the magic into tangible range is the idea. Alrighty, so I believe that would be all of the crystals notarized thus far. I'm going to make darn sure one more time, because once this is wrapped up, this will never be seen again, God willing. Okay, that is indeed all the crystals. So also, of course, this lovely green leather seen right here will be installed on the handle, which will, just like mentioned for the white leather, be a green ray color therapy resonance, which is very appropriate for the emerald green energy of abundance. Also to insulate the energy seen through here, as well as to, of course, protect the handbands and there you have it. That'd be the big idea. So once, of course, this is all done, and after this video is concluded, this will be immediately installed like so around the handle with this seen like so. And as a summary, before I sign off, like I mentioned beginning of the video, this would be the 19th rendition, which means that various platforms of even a staff version of this, talismans, rings, stationary mounts have come into existence since the beginning of January of 2025 in very short succession of extreme concentration, which means also that this particular frequency is in distribution with 18 predecessors out there doing its thing, basically widening a network to expand this field into reality. So in theory, each of these built on top of it with succession, standing atop of the tangible victories that I will omit for this video to keep it consolidated, is another addition, the 19th degree of exactly this abundance frequency in distribution, which has been very, very exciting. And that would be it. All right, well, anyone watching this, 1,000 blessings. I pray you have an abundant day, and may the force be with us all.